mitochondrial health. I talked at length with Dr. Stephen Hussey when we're talking heart health, how important mitochondrial health was when it comes to the heart. But now the same seems to also apply to the brain. Yeah. Why is it important to look after our mitochondria? Let's start with what are the mitochondria and why do we need them?
So they're the little organelles, so tiny, tiny things in most, if not all of our cells, most of them anyway. And they have many different functions, but one of the most well-known functions is for production of energy in the body. So I immediately think of some of the work by Dr. Sarah Myhill in the UK, who's been a pioneer in terms of advancing treatment of chronic fatigue syndrome. And again, chronic fatigue absolutely comes down to mitochondrial health. But you also see the same symptoms in depression when people shut down and don't want to do anything and they don't have the energy to do anything. So that would be a sign to me that mitochondria are very crucial in that situation. But they're also responsible for managing free radicals in the body. So in the process of forming energy, they do produce a certain level of oxidants in the body, and we know that ketogenic diets have favorable effects in terms of reducing oxidative stress. And oxidative stress is a term that's thrown around an awful lot, but it just really means when there's an imbalance between the antioxidants that we have in our body to begin with and the pro-oxidants or free radicals, which are the unstable oxygen molecules that cause changes to DNA and cause dysfunction in the way different cells function in the body. And we know that oxidative stress plays a role in development of mental health symptoms. So that's a brief summary.
How do we look after our mitochondria?
Oh, so again, that comes down to having a species appropriate diet. So something that is ancestrally appropriate. And in my mind, that means a very low carbohydrate ketogenic diet, and with carnivore being a subset of a ketogenic diet. So I don't think everyone needs to be carnivore, but certainly the majority of people would do well if they were to cut out the sugar and the carbohydrates and keep that to a minimum. There are, of course, other things that can be done. So looking after your light routines and participating in grounding, so just having contact with nature for transfer of electrons. And I often think of Stephen Hussey because I know he talks a lot about the importance of that. But just we know that having contact with nature brings the body into a parasympathetic nervous system state. So that's the relaxation state. And often with many mental health disorders, there's too much sympathetic activation, so too much cortisol in the body, agitation, people being on high alert, unable to relax. And so I'm a huge fan of people getting out in nature and having actual physical contact with the earth, because we know that can affect measurable outcomes such as heart rate variability, which is one measure that some people like to track.